Hey everybody, Jem Schofield here with the C47 and another episode of Gearbox. So probably one of the toughest things about shooting in Scotland, and a few years ago I shot here for almost an entire month, is the fact that the light is constantly changing. 1 second it's cloudy and raining, and then all of a sudden it's sunny, it starts to get hot, your exposure's all over the place. You might be at an f4, and then all of a sudden you have to stop down to an f22. So shooting in a shady area can definitely help with that. But it's a little tricky, especially when you're not using a long take where you can see the light change. And if you're cutting stuff, it makes it a little bit difficult. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this thing I mentioned yesterday. Have some of it sitting on the outside of my shirt right now. And what it's called is Moleskin. Sound recordist that I use a lot, Tom Bergen. It's on the Canon shoot. We were down by Fulton Ferry Landing, very, very windy. And what he did is he basically took a strip of this and cut it. It's very, very sticky on one side, and then it's this fabric used for medical purposes on the other. And you just cut a big strip of that stuff. And I mean, look at this. I found these scissors. These are mega. And you can cut it to whatever size you want. But basically the idea is that you cut a piece that you can put underneath somebody's clothing, whether it's a jacket or, you know, a shirt or something like that. And you have to be careful because it is fabric, so it will rub. But if you can get it in the right place, then you've got this really sticky side on here. Wow, you can see it right here. So basically, let me just see. Hopefully the other mic won't pick it up too much. Basically here you can see how sticky it is. So it's really sticky on one side, you've got the fabric on the other, and if you put this underneath somebody's clothing with your mic underneath it, and this is actually just the Rode lavalier mic inside one of those Sanken RM-11s, then you've got a lot of protection. It's the midgies that are getting to me. That is basically a huge wind barrier, and that's what this Moleskin does, is it creates a huge wind barrier, and that underneath the clothing, just pretend that this is underneath the clothing, will help prevent a lot of that wind noise when you're using a lavalier mic. So I guess if you get the opportunity to shoot a show like Jersey Shore, and you need to use lavalier mics, and you're doing a lot of run and gun stuff, then this stuff could work really, really well when you are miking people up. So again, Moleskin, and then what I have is I have that little Sanken piece with actually what's on the other side of this, which is wig tape, another little trick I got from my sound recordist. Here it is. You can buy this stuff for about $4 or $5 a roll. It's double stick, but extremely sticky on both sides. And the combination of these pieces here make for really a pretty great situation when you're running into windy conditions. The only thing to remember is that this Sanken piece is not really for every single mic out there, so you may or may not be able to use it with your lavalier mic. You'd have to test it out, but the piece is only $3 or $4 or $5, so you couldn't fit a standard tram mic in there, I don't think, though you might be able to. But obviously the Sankens do. This is the Rode lavalier, and that fits right in there perfectly. And I'm sure there's some others. Some of those little Countryman mics are teeny tiny, and so they may not actually stay in there. But pretty cool combination here. And again, the main thing is this Moleskin, and I bought it in this huge roll for about 20-25 bucks. And then that way I can just throw a little bit into the case along with everything else when I'm going out on the shoot. And bitten by midgies all over the place. And I'll see you next time on Gearbox.